How's it going, everybody? It's Part of Flame. We are back with another FPL live stream, and today we're going to be talking about the Game Week 17 preview. We're going to take a look back at how we did in Game Week 16. We're going to take a look at a couple of things. The title of the stream is UEFA Champions League Fraudulence. The frauds. They got caught in the act of trying to rig the Champions League, and the draw is still a bit favoring some English teams and not so much others. And Real Madrid gets the short end of the stick when things are finally set and done. We will also take a look at potential outbreaks. So Spurs players as well as now Manchester United players could be under threat for potential outbreaks due to the virus. So that could be a bit of an issue for some of us that have tried to jump on Man United players early as well. I currently have Ronaldo on my team, so that could be a bit of an issue. So we'll have to take a look at that. We'll update the watch list. We'll do the predictions and differential picks as we normally do, and we'll see what potential transfers we could be making this week. Because I have two frees again. I managed to use one and roll the two again. So we'll take a look at those and see how we're going to manage that. But before we do that, let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout. So if you haven't seen Fantasy Football Scout, it's fantastic. It allows you to create custom stats tables, which we will use on the deadline stream tomorrow as well. So make sure to check that out. We'll be doing that same time as well. So it's going to be 12 p.m. EST. And we're going to do that regardless if the United game gets postponed or not. We're going to do it at the same time. Because the deadline will only be pushed, I think, 15 minutes later because Norwich and Villa play 15 minutes after United. But we'll do the deadline stream same time as per normal. So we're going to use some tables on that. Mainly the captaincy table, goals a minute table, whipping boys table, all the tables that you've seen before. And we'll take a look at the season ticker as we normally do, or should take a look at the season ticker and might integrate it in as it comes by. And you can do a whole bunch of different things in the Fantasy Football Scout members area, such as look at heat maps, all different types of stats. And like I said, you can make your own stats tables. I've made mine all public so that anyone in the Fantasy Football Scout members area that has access to it can look at the tables that I've created as well. So it's a fantastic, fantastic tool that's going to help elevate your FPL game. Now, let's see how the team did in Game Week 16. So that is the team up on the screen. That is our notepad that we have ready and available for our predictions later on in the stream. But all things considered, a decent enough game week, but unfortunately a red arrow to just inside the top 2,500. So we've had two red arrows on the spin. We've been a bit more conservative with our transfers, with cancellations of games and potential looming, stoppages of games and whatnot. And I'm glad that we did, because we have a couple of potential flags in our team that aren't necessarily prevalent as of yet. So we effectively have a non-playing forward in Lacardia. We have Smith Rowe, who was on the bench but didn't play. Jota came off the bench for 1 pointer. Is he still fully fit? We don't know. Ronaldo could be in jeopardy now because of the fact that, they've had to shut down the training facility to make sure that everything is okay. Cancelo picked up his 5th yellow card, which means that he will be absent in Game Week 17 as well. So that could be another big issue. Also, St. Maximin has a terrible fixture this week. And Chelsea seemingly just can't keep a clean sheet. So we do have some potential problems in the team. That being said, we scored 62 points, which is enough for just outside the top 3 million for a game week rank, inside the 1,100 point mark on the season, 1,107 points. We have the 2 free transfers and used 1 of 2 last week. So we're still well inside the top 10k. We're still doing good. It's just a couple of decisions didn't go away. Like one decision this week, had we played Ramsdale over Guaita, we would have probably had a very small green arrow or a gray, and we would have probably been a-okay. He was the main one that burnt us. Bernardo Silva, also Gallagher as well. I lost to the guy in the cup because basically we both had Smith Rowe, and his first sub was Gallagher. Mine was Rafinha. And he also had a couple extra points come off the bench as well. But that was basically the main thing that was bad against us. So we're out of the FPL Cup, which is unfortunate, but it's always a bit of fun. Also, I think our cup for ours starts in like the Game Week 30 something. You can check that by looking at the Cups tab here. So if you go here and you click on one of the links, there's obviously more cups that I have that I'm involved in or have made one myself for my own league. And you can go check to see when they start, and it's based on how many players are in that respective cup. So if there's only 8 of you, then the cup will only last probably a couple weeks, basically. If it's 800,000 of you, then it's going to probably be starting somewhat soon. So yeah, make sure to check that out. It will always give you the details as to when you go and click on the cup that you're in. But let's run down the team here. So we got Guaita with 3 points. Obviously, in hindsight, playing Ramsdale would have been better. I just felt that Southampton might be more likely to score than Everton. Everton did end up scoring, which is a bit unfortunate. Ramsdale picked up a lot of saves, and Southampton didn't end up scoring. It also made it easier that Arsenal scored a couple goals early on as well. So that was kind of a bit unfortunate because it kind of just deadened the game, and Southampton really were never going to score after they got a couple of goals, and then went 3-0 up. It was pretty much over. Whereas Everton, since the game was at 2-0, they were always poised to potentially still nick one and make something out of it. And then Gallagher sealed it for them. In the back line, we got a clean sheet from Diaz, clean sheet and a bonus point from Cancelo, but both of them picking up yellows, which is a bit unfortunate. And Alonso getting an assist was nice. Reece James getting 0. And Trent with the clean sheet and the bonus points. Hey, Mana, how's it going? You're scaring me here. Why are you streaming? Game week soon. Yeah, there's a game week that starts tomorrow. Game week 17 starts on Tuesday. Yeah. For those that didn't know, there's a game week that starts on Tuesday. The deadline it's currently set at 1 p.m. EST. So we'll be starting the stream an hour before that. So yeah. There's a game week tomorrow. So we can show you that. Where's my tweet? So that was the predictions for last week. See, tomorrow, December the 14th. EU-friendly stream. Yep, it's because I'm on vacation. Don't get used to it, Zodiac. Don't get used to it. But yeah, so if you look at it, so we have a game week on for starting on Tuesday tomorrow. Then we have one starting on Saturday. Then it gets a bit weird, and there's one on the Sunday because of Boxing Day. Then there's one that literally starts a couple of days later on the Tuesday. And then one starts on the Saturday. So it's very, very quick turnaround in the Christmas period. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. Oh, I should just remove the tweet, actually. Didn't know as the Xmas season in work. I'm the music teacher. Yeah, I mean, sometimes there was one, like, some game weeks can creep up on you quite fast. They can creep up on you quite fast, so... Any United leaks for that? No, I'm not. We don't know. The only thing that we know right now is that the game could be in jeopardy and that they've closed the training facility for 24 hours, apparently. That's the only thing that we know as of now. All the players that went to Norwich tested negative after the game, apparently. That's the only thing that we know. That I know of, anyway. Or they tested negative just before they traveled, or something like that. Basically, the Norwich game, all the players that were in the squad for that game are fine at that point. That's the only thing that we know. That's the only thing that we know. We know nothing else, basically. What do I predict about United? Wait and see. Wait and see, to be honest. Wait and see, which is why I'm holding my transfers yet again until as late as possible. And since United is also the first game, we will know well in advance, or at least beforehand, if the United game is going to go through. And presumably, we will get the predicted lineup as well. So, yeah. Hey, Warren, I have Lukaku in my team. Would you keep him? Yeah, Lukaku's almost certainly going to start this week for sure. I don't know why he didn't start last week, but it's just weird. You pay all this money for a guy who's come back. He's fine. He's definitely better than Havertz up front for sure. But yeah, I would keep Lukaku definitely this week. Because who do they play? Everton, yeah, and Everton's defense is terrible bad. So yeah. Yeah, Gallagher burnt me too, Zodiac as well. Yeah, Gallagher burnt me. Both me and my cup opponent had Smith Rowe playing, and his first sub was Gallagher, and mine was Rafinha. So Gallagher got a bit more points than that. Also, you got a couple extra points as well because of other players that didn't play, like Aubameyang didn't play for him as well. So he got like 2 points from Tyrone Mings, and then he got Michael Keane or something for 1 point. So yeah, but yeah, cup's always a little bit of fun. But yeah, as for the rest of the team, we got Rafinha off the bench, who originally played Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe was on the bench, one of 2 players to not come on between him and Jota. Jota did come on, got the 1 point, but Smith Rowe didn't, so we got Rafinha's points, which is quite nice. Salah, again, returning. I don't understand. I mean, if you captain Ronaldo this week, congratulations, but again, Salah, the only time he hasn't got a return is right here at Gameweek 2. He's literally scored or assisted or more in every other game, and he's going to be my captaincy this week again because he plays Newcastle at home, and there's no reason not to take it off him. Unless we find out that he's literally not in the squad, in which case, then cool. Then we go from there. Just set your vice captain, somebody dies. I got the Gea this week, very, very happy about that. Well, hopefully you have a second playing goalkeeper. Hey JB Cullen, how's it going? Glad that you could join us. Thank you for following as well. Yeah, and then the forward line, Ronaldo, penalty, 3 bonus. Can't be more happy about that. We took out Ivan Toney, who didn't play. So yeah. And St. Maximin, again, disappointing. Trying to do everything himself, really. Newcastle in a bit of a mess, which is a bit unfortunate. I got Foster. Yeah. If you have 0.1 extra, you can go to Backman. If you want. Just for a little quick punt, basically. 1 week, maybe 2 game weeks. We'll see. Depends on how long the United thing is going to get closed down for. Because if it's only like staff members or something, and then it's fine, then we'll see. But again, when it comes to organizing things or getting things sorted on an administrative level or at a club level, United are bad at that. They're very bad at that. Case in point, it took Ranić an extra 2 weeks to be in charge, and they didn't have a replacement for Solskjaer when things started going bad from the Liverpool game. So that shows you the level of just organization that United have. They don't have any. So knowing United, they'll probably have 3 game weeks where they don't play because it's United. That's how it's going to probably work. But what would you do now if you had Mbomo and Ronnie? Wait and see on the news, to be honest, and see if you can bench them. I mean, I would start them, obviously, but we're going, since United play the first game of the week, United and Brentford play the first game of the week, so I have to stress this. We will know if that game is cancelled before the deadline 100%. We have to. We literally have to. There's no other way. We'll probably know tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or whenever it is EU time, tomorrow evening. At least a couple hours before the game. We will definitely know for sure. Because Ranić will have a press conference or he won't. Or he'll talk about it in the press conference and say, the game's going ahead, here's the players I don't have, or whatever. We'll get something. And then we can judge it off that. So that's what I would say. Hold things for that until further notice, basically. So yeah, that is the team. Let's bring up how the game week went for all the teams. So here's the tweet that we put out for our predictions. And those are the scores. Reminders of lotto points last season. Yeah, it's super, super frustrating. I don't really understand how these massive outbreaks keep occurring unless it's something that somebody maybe I mean the rules are really, really strict, but the players should still be within a confined, like, they need to be a bit more cognizant. They can't be going out and doing whatever, basically, is what I'm saying. The UK is a lot more lenient now, and you know, for whatever reason, they've loosened the grip and it's caused a bit of issues. But with that being said, as FPL managers, we learn and we adapt, and we see if we can move things forward. And good thing I've kept the strategy of saving my transfers till the team news and stuff, because that's going to come important this week. In terms of our predictions and whatnot, so over the past few weeks, we got 10, 8, and 16. We've done really well on the predictions last week, although our FPL team got a red arrow. So hopefully that trend doesn't continue in terms of predictions being good and FPL team being bad. I'd rather it be the other way around, if anything. So you might lose some of your bets if you follow me, but my FPL team would do well. Yeah, if you follow me on the predictions last week, you would have done really well. So if you don't have the predictions, go 3 points if you get the exact score right, 1 point if you get the result right, and 0 for anything else. So we have the predictions up on the screen. I predicted Brentford-Watford to be a 2-2. It ended up being a 2-1 in favor of Brentford. So Watford went ahead early on that with a Dennis goal, and then ultimately could not seal the deal. Man City 2-0 over Wolves ended up being 1-0 through a Raheem Sterling penalty. Funnily enough, all the big four, as it were, with Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Man United all managed to win their games, respectively, with penalties, funnily enough, which is very, very interesting. So we get just the 1 point there. Arsenal and Southampton, I predicted 1-1, couldn't have been more wrong. Chelsea leads 2-1, ended up being 3-2. Chelsea looking very shaky defensively. So we get the 1 point there. Another fake penalty for Foden, Euro replay. Oh, Sterling. Yeah. So if I went down all the penalties, Man City's was not a penalty because it hits what's his name? I think it's João Moutinho, I want to say. It hits him literally in his armpit. So I don't understand how that's going to be a penalty. Man United's was definitely a penalty because Max Aarons has no reason to grab Ronaldo by his shoulders and pull him back. He has no reason to do that. He's literally preventing him from jumping and pulling him down. Does Ronaldo get to the ball? Probably not, but it's still a foul. The Chelsea one, Antonio Rudiger got taken down for both of them, which is just the most jam you've ever seen in your life. A center back getting taken down for penalties twice in a game and getting assists off both of them. I think the Chelsea one is soft and the Liverpool one is soft, but in both instances, both players are making tackles that they probably shouldn't be doing. The Chelsea one, probably more so with Rafinha, because Rafinha goes in with a little bit more pace. Salah's one I think is very, very light. And I don't think it's probably a penalty in my book. I think the Leeds one you can potentially say it was. But even then, I still, like, I wouldn't, the only penalty I would have given was the United one, funnily enough. I know that's going to be biased, but because in all instances, the Man City one's not a handball. The Chelsea and the Liverpool ones were very, very soft, and I think it's just the contact doesn't cause the player to get, like, it's not a foul, and, like, it's not going to bring him down like that. Rafinha also gets the ball as well, which is a bit weird. And the United one is literally just Max Aarons pulling Ronaldo by his neck, basically. So, yeah. Yeah, I think 3 out of the 4 weren't penalties, but, yeah. But the thing is, Rafinha still gets the ball. He goes in hard, but I guess this whole follow through, and if you get the man and the ball, you still got the man, so therefore it's a foul. I don't think Rafinha should be making that type of emphasis of a tackle, you know, in the box like that. I just don't see it. I just don't think he should be doing that. Anyway. Yeah, it's the intention. Yeah, but then how can you read a player's mind? You can't really. You know, it's a bit weird. Anyway, Liverpool versus Aston Villa 1-0. I predicted 2-1, so we get the 1 point there. United 1-0 over Norwich. I predicted 2-0, so we get 1 point there. Spurs and Brighton did not play because I made those predictions beforehand. West Ham Burnley, boring 0-0. I predicted 2-1 in favor of West Ham, so wrong there. Leicester v Newcastle, I got the win for Leicester, 2-1. It was 4-0. And then Crystal Palace got the win over Everton, not by 1-0, but 3-1. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not too bad. Norwich has been doing well lately. 6 points is just slightly under average, I would say. But we did get 6 out of the 9 that we predicted results-wise correct, so that's not too bad. Clean sheets and differentials. Man City kept a clean sheet. Guaita got a save point but didn't get a clean sheet, so unfortunate there. Delo got a clean sheet. Bowen got nothing, and King got nothing. So again, another kind of below average week for the differential picks. 2 out of 5. How many points is success? So basically what we want to get is 5 correct scores and an exact result. So that's 8 points basically. So the exact score is 3 points, and then 5 other games which we've gotten the result right. So at least get us 6 out of 10, so the majority correct results, and at least 1 exact score. That's what I try to go for at least every week, which works out to be 8 points basically. So that's what we went for. So just below average there. Mind you, the Spurs-Brighton game, 2-1 probably would have been a reasonable-ish scoreline. Right, let's bring up the notepad. We'll get rid of the tweet there, close that, and we'll go on to this week's fixture. So, right off the bat, Brentford v United. Again, like I said, we will know out of all the games if this one is going to be played, because it's literally first. So, no need to stress on that. I'm guaranteed of it. 6 out of 27 possible points. Yes, exactly. So, in theory, if we got every exact score right out of the 9 games, we would have got 27 points. That's super unrealistic. I think if you get 1 exact score right per week out of 10 games, I think that's not too bad. That's pretty good. If you get 2 exact scores right, I mean, you're doing really well. If you get 3, you're probably a prophet. Like last week, I got like 3 or 4 exact scores right, which was mental. And that's why gambling's hard, apparently, for some people. But I just do it just for fun, just see if I can get the scores correct, and see if it coincides with if I predict scores the way they would go versus how well my FPL team does. Like, there was a weird dynamic at the beginning of the season where I was predicting everything wrong, but my team was doing really well, and then vice versa now. It's really weird. Looking forward to guess with you. Well, let's get right into it. Brentford v United. Let's see if we can guess it. Are we going to guess that it's going to be postponed? Are we going to guess it's going to be the score? We'll go with the score and see if we can get something. But I think United should be winning this game. I think they should also be keeping a clean sheet because Ivan Toney's not in. I'm going to pick the same score I did for Norwich. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Manchester United. That's just me. Aston Villa versus Norwich. This is a bit of a weird one because it's a roles reverse. We now have Dean Smith versus Aston Villa, his old club that he used to manage. I think that Aston Villa will win this one. I think it's going to be by a same scoreline. I think they'll keep a clean sheet, and I think it's going to be 2-0 in favor of the Villains. Zodiac's gone with a 1-1. Well, Norwich could score. I think just Villa, just the way they're playing, they're like Norwich were decent versus United, but I just think Villa are playing pretty good at the moment. And they gave Liverpool a really hard time. Villa can't defend. Well, we'll see about that. I think they're defending better than people give them credit for. Definitely better than what they were under Dean Smith, for sure. Man City versus Leeds. I think they should be quite comfortable in this one. Man City, I think they should have space to open up. I think that they could carve Leeds open. I'm going to go with a 3-0 as well. Zodiac, I think that one is pretty set in stone, to be honest. Brighton versus Wolves. Now, this is a very interesting one. I think this could be the 0-0 of the week, to be honest. I think both teams are really struggling to score, and I think 0-0 might be on the cards here. Burnley versus Watford. I think this one could be a little bit more scoring. I think that both teams need to win this game, and typically when that happens, both teams don't get the result that they want. So I'm going to go, means I have the same mind here. I'm going to go 1-1. Actually, took the words right out of my mouth. Crystal Palace v Southampton. I think Palace are playing well. I think Southampton might find it a bit tricky. I think Palace probably keep a clean sheet in this one too, I think. Zodiac's gone 2-1. I'm going to go with 2-0, to be honest. I think Palace potentially keep a clean sheet in this one, which could make things a bit difficult in terms of goalkeeper picks, because both my goalkeepers are at home. One is playing West Ham, which just came off a draw versus Burnley, so maybe they come back and absolutely batter Arsenal. We'll see. And speaking of Arsenal, Arsenal versus West Ham. I think West Ham, it seems like they play well, excuse me, versus the very good teams, which is weird. And I think that they should do well in this one. I think Arsenal don't defend nearly as well as what people make them out to. And I think that West Ham could potentially exploit that. So I'm actually going to say that West Ham nicked this one. I'm going to go with a 2-1 in a very close encounter. I think that both goalkeepers will have things that they're going to have to do. And I think that it could be a bit of an issue for them in terms of having to be able to, deal with certain things that they wouldn't normally be able to, like high volumes of shots. I think both teams can shoot from range quite well. I think Jared Bowen's very good at that. I think Antonio's decent at that. I think that Odegaard's very good at that. So the goalkeepers are going to be under pressure. But I think that just West Ham might just be a little bit more clinical. I think their players up front are performing a little bit better than the likes of Arsenal's front men. Like Lacazette, Aubameyang, and the like haven't been as good as the likes of Bowen has been. Antonio's been off the boil a little bit, but he's still been providing in terms of like being the assister. So that could be quite interesting as well. Leicester versus Spurs. Now, assuming this one goes through, because this one could also potentially be in jeopardy, I think Spurs should comfortably beat Leicester. I don't think Leicester have been playing well at all. So I think that Spurs will probably keep a clean sheet, to be honest. And I'm gonna go 2-0 Spurs, to be honest, because they've also had rest as well, which is something that it needs to be accounted for. Postponed or 2-1, yeah, with the emoji, yeah. Chelsea versus Everton. Chelsea should get back to winning ways, more comfortable winning ways, and I'm gonna go with a typical 2-0 Chelsea win. And then lastly, Liverpool. This is probably the easiest game to predict of the week. Last words. Rest but no training, that's not a positive. No, but rest is still better than, nothing, to be honest. And yeah, Liverpool 3-0, I think, is pretty much on the cards, to be honest. Could be more. So we will see on that front. So let me move these out of the way, and we'll bring in the clean sheet and differential picks, and we'll extend the notepad here just a bit. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do either. 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 Let me make this bigger. There we go. That's better. So, clean sheet this week. Liverpool. I think it's pretty straightforward. They're playing Newcastle, so I think they're going to keep a clean sheet. Differential goalkeeper this week. Very hard to find one, but I've gone with Bachmann at 2.0%. Sanchez I was going to go for because against Wolves, but again, he's like 18%. So it's a bit weird on that front. Yeah, I just think that got to go for someone a little bit more differential. And if there is another 0-0 in this week, apart from Brighton Wolves potentially, it's Burnley Watford. Yeah. Defense, I've gone with Matty Cash. They're playing Norwich. And 3.6% owned. Attacking could get a return. Gundogan, 3.8% versus Leeds, could do well. He got hooked early, but I don't think that's a reason to not get him. It even makes him more of a differential over the likes of Bernardo Silva and the like. And lastly, we've gone with Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is 7.9% owned, but he is a differential in the sense because everyone's looking at, Foden, everyone's looking at Bernardo Silva, but everyone's forgetting about Gabriel Jesus, who's been basically in the team, playing out on the right-hand side, doing well. He could actually even be a midfielder next season, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, so that's the clean sheet and differential picks. I'm going to post these now, just so I don't have to do it later, and so that I don't delete the delete it. So here we go. Hashtag FPL, hashtag Gameweek 17 predictions and differential picks. There we go. We'll add the image to make it easy to find and go. There we go. Close that. Don't need that up on the screen anymore. Mane and Benteke are also very good differentials as well. I would agree. On that front for sure. Right. Let's take a look at the team for this week. So, currently we have 2 playing goalkeepers. We have 4 playing defenders, in theory. We have 3 playing midfielders, plus Brownhill. We have 2 playing forwards, Rafinha as well. So, if, let's say for argument's sake, Locadia is probably not going to play, because he's a cheap forward and doesn't play. Cancelo's not going to play. That's 2 players. If Ronaldo doesn't play, that's 3. So, we're Brownhill deep, basically. If that is the case. We'll have to go 4-5-1. And we'll have to work things out. But if we were to, let's say if we ran out the team right now, I think Guaita over Ramsdale, just a better fixture, both at home. We play Cancelo if he was available, but obviously suspended. Diaz, Trent, James, Alonso makes sense. Salah captain, Smith Rowe, Jota, Ronaldo with the Vice, Saint Maximin. I'd probably play Rafinha over Saint Maximin if I, was gonna fully fix it up. Vice captaincy, if the game is in jeopardy in any which way, case, or form, I think I would make Reece James the vice captain for Ronaldo. So I'm going to leave that as is for the time being. And Rafinha would play over Saint Maximin. Saint Maximin would be first sub probably. Over Brownhill, just because he's potentially the ability to get a goal or something. So yeah, that's what we're going with. You think Jota back in? Well, I got Jota. I've had Jota for a while, but Jota being back in for sure for Newcastle. If you got rid of him, I would say. I mean, I don't know why you got rid of him, but I think. I mean, in a couple of weeks' time, he's going to be playing basically every game as long as he's fit. So, yeah. In the bank, we have 0.4 million. So, it's a bit tricky. So, one of the transfers that I want to see if I can make... that Jota will play. Yeah, he should. He should play. He should play. He should play. Because him and Firmino, I think, were both on the bench. But I think Klopp will want Firmino versus Spurs, which is the more difficult fixture out of the two. And Firmino's also come back. Jota 70, Firmino 20. Yeah, it's probably something like that's going to happen. And then it may be roles reverse in the Spurs game, which is fine. We accept that. That's what you expect with Jota, with Firmino being back. So, makes sense. But we're going to keep Jota because when it comes to African Cup of Nations time, him and Firmino and one other are going to play every week. So, yeah. So, players that we can't get rid of. Guaita and Ramsdale. We can't get rid of them as much as I potentially want to now to free up a little bit of funds. We can't get rid of them because if there's an outbreak in one of the two teams, I need to have another goalkeeper. It burnt me last week, but... I need another goalkeeper. You have to. You have to have a backup for everyone now. With these outbreaks. Alonso, Reece James, Trent, they're not going anywhere. They're fine. They're staying there for the time being. They have good fixtures. Cool. Cancelo, okay, he's suspended for a week. Fine. He plays Newcastle and Brentford in the next 3. He ain't going anywhere either. And City's fixtures are still ridiculous, right? Diaz is potentially up on the board. So we'll put him in doubt. So I'll put an X on the players that are potentially in doubt. 0.4 million in the bank, by the way. I would then have 10 players and no keeper. Yeah, that is a problem. But again, sometimes it's better if you just take it on the chin and roll a transfer. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. To be honest, sometimes that's the best way to do it. So yeah, it can just happen like that sometimes. So we have 0.4 million in bank. I sued 3 last week, used 3, and had 2 free transfers. Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to wait, because there was this potential that United had some issues as well beforehand. Smith Rowe's fixtures are good in the short term. Does have a blank coming up soon, and he's a cheap midfielder, but could be on the block, so we'll X him out as well. Rafinha just keeps. He's doing well. He's got 2 in the last 4. His fixtures are dreadful, though. He has Man City and Liverpool away, but he has Arsenal and Villa around that. So if we can find a plug for 17 and 19, maybe there's something there. Maybe we play Rafinha just because the best availability or the best types of players is availability. Players that are playing, and Rafinha is one of those. Smith Rowe could be on the block. Rafinha, we'll put an X on him just because he might be. Salah, Jota, obviously we've said reasons why they're not going anywhere. Lacadia isn't going anywhere unless we're upgrading him. St. Maximin probably going as well. And then Ronaldo, if United the game looks to be in jeopardy, maybe we do a short-term move to get Ronaldo out, bring in a forward, keep the funds. Let's say if the likelihood is if the Brentford game is gone, then the Brighton one might be as well. And Brighton at home could be a bit trickier for United. Whereas Lukaku, as an example, he has Everton and Wolves, who are much weaker, I would say, than Brighton and a blank, basically. And you get 2 fixtures out of it. So maybe we go to Lukaku. The only issue is that if we do sell Ronaldo, we lose value on him, which is not the greatest. So again, we just have to hope that the United game's fine and he's fine, in particular. So those are the players that could potentially be on the block for removal, as it were. We could go for... we can't get any additional Liverpool players. Not that we want to. And we potentially want to make it so that we have the ability to have players that are playing, basically. And unfortunately, with all the players that we're taking out, those players are playing, which is a bit of annoyance. So maybe we have to upgrade Lacadia out of just necessity that we need players to come in, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. So if we look at forwards right now, some of the cheaper forwards, you got Emmanuel Dennis, Antonio's there. As well, King, Tony would normally be fine if his fixture isn't cancelled, basically. Benteke is okay. Watkins could be good over the next few. At 7.6 million, maybe he's the one we go for. And that's something we can go for. So maybe we can go. Let's see how we can do this. So if we go Watkins here, we need some money. Let's say we go for King. Then we have 16 million. If we keep Diaz and we keep Rafinha, how much money do we have? We have 3.8 million. So we have to probably get rid of Diaz if we're doing that. So if we keep Smith Rowe, Diaz down to a cheap defender, and we play 3-4-3 this week, taking a -4. And then we would have, so if we go for like a cheap defender, so defenders 4.1, so we have Duffy. Johnson hasn't been playing, but we need a defender that's playing that's not complete, just terrible, basically. Duffy's suspended. Johnson has an injury. Brandon Williams didn't play last game, which is not ideal. So this might be a bit of an issue. So we might have to look at the 4.4, 4.5-ish bracket. So maybe we go for... Who do we probably go for? Maybe a Ben White, a Mitchell. Ait-Nouri seems to be playing every week, and he's getting clean sheets. So maybe Ait-Nouri at 4.3. We'd be 0.1 off, though, unfortunately. 0.1 off is always a shame. So maybe that's something that we can potentially go for when we go 3-4-3. When Cancelo comes back in, we either play 4-3-3 or we play 4-4-2, depending on fixtures and whatnot. Wolves' fixtures are pretty bad in the short term. So, yeah, Marcel 4.2. Yeah, Ait-Nouri is going to play over him. Yeah. Just doesn't look ideal. If we can go for maybe a cheaper forward, we can get a better defender. Tanganga 4.3. Yeah, we're still 0.1 off, though. That's the kind of the issue. I do like the prospect of Watkins, though. Yeah, a lot of defenders are just 4.3. I only have 4.2, yeah, if we were to get King and Watkins. That's kind of the problem. If we were to get rid of Diaz, because we're not going to get rid of Cancelo, because it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, so we only have 4.2. So the price rises on King and Dennis have kind of ruined this prospect a little bit, which is a bit unfortunate. Holgate at 4.2, but do I really want an Everton defender? Not really. I don't think I want an Everton defender. Let me check the forwards again. Unless we go for a decent defender, but we downgrade Rafinha to Gallagher, or we downgrade Rafinha to Bowen. Because if we go Bowen, because Bowen's 6.5, we can get a 4.3, and we'd be for a -8, or we could just downgrade him completely altogether, like downgrade him to Gallagher, because Crystal Palace's fixtures are really, really good. Downgrade Gallagher to a 6.1 and then get a 4.5-ish defender and keep some money in the bank. Whoever that defender may be. Let's check the defenders 5.1 and lower. So like Tomiyasu might be good at 4.7. Who else do we have? Obviously Ben White's still there. Livramento. Delo would normally be good. Tierney if he's playing, but I think Tomiyasu is a safe bet. Playing week in, week out. It does set us up with triple Arsenal, which isn't ideal. Again, we kind of want to avoid triple ups if we can. What's my rank at the moment? It's up on the screen. Overall rank is at the top middle-ish area. If Shaw was nailed, I would get him in for Duffy, but do I dare? Again, with Shaw, again, he might not be he might not even be playing, which could be a bit of a concern. We would be concerned. So yeah, that could be done for a -8, and we'd have 0.2. It'd be 0 in the bank, but we could also just get a 4.5 million defender too, as well. Like we could still get Aït-Nouri in this system, but it would mean downgrading Rafinha. Forced a 2-week punt defender, yeah, exactly. But the nice thing about this system is that even if Ronaldo doesn't play, we have King and Watkins who are going to play. We'd have Jota, Salah, Gallagher, Smith Rowe. We'd have Tomiyasu, Trent, James, and Alonso. And then we'd still have Brownhill as a backup to any one of them if Ronaldo didn't play and Cancelo not playing as well. We still have Brownhill. We still have a backup goalkeeper. We're still okay. So maybe that's something that we could also do. Watkins plays Burnley at home next. What about what's West Ham? West Ham plays what? Arsenal this week? They play Arsenal then Norwich. So I kind of want to get Bowen if I can. So maybe it's but thing is Gallagher's just so good as well. Like Gallagher's just been so good. He also has good fixtures too. But again, doubling up on Crystal Palace, and I have no West Ham players. So maybe it's better to go Bowen. Go for a cheaper defender. Just go for like Aït-Nouri. Know that he's going to play and play him when we need him. And I don't have Antonio yet. Spread the risk a little bit. The question is... I think we just have to... We have to take the -4 this week. I don't think I can risk players not playing. But we can also alternatively just get Watkins. Keep the 1.4 million. And downgrade. If we keep Diaz... We can also, I mean, we can go Gallagher just for 2 frees. The only problem is that Ronaldo doesn't play, then we are literally on Brownhill, and that's it. That's another thing. Yeah, hits in the long run. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to calculate and probably have to do off stream, because doing it on the fly is potentially a bit more complicated. But I like Watkins. I want to see Antonio, potentially some West Ham in there. Maybe Diaz has to go as a sacrifice, even though I think he has a good fixture this week. But again, could be rotated, so we'll have to see. But can't do anything before Ronaldo. Exactly, we just don't know. We just literally don't know. But if I was going to run the team as per normal, I'm going to put Ronaldo with the vice captaincy back on. This would be the team at the moment. I'd have Guaita. I'd have Cancelo, even though he's not going to play. Diaz, Trent, James, Alonso, Salah captain, Smith Rowe, Jota, Rafinha, Ronaldo with the vice captain. If I made no transfers whatsoever, this is what I would do. That's what the team would be at the moment. But before we sign off, let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be the same time, EU friendly, as I am on vacation. So yeah, make sure to check that out. We will be back here tomorrow, 12 p.m. EST. So for those in the EU, that's 5 p.m. your time, at least for UK anyway. So yeah, we'll be streaming then, and yeah, make sure to come check out the stream, like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff, and take a look at the Fantasy Football Scout members area. It's fantastic. You're going to be checking out things like customizable stats tables, heat maps, and all this great stuff. It's going to help make you have better informed FPL decisions, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, let's move over to the big screen. And as I mentioned, thank you for watching, following, subscribing, all that good stuff. And hopefully you have a successful Game Week 17, because I need to get back on track. We've had 2 red arrows. Hopefully we can stop the trend. Hopefully it doesn't have... Hopefully third time is not the charm for a red arrow. Hopefully third time's the charm for the green arrow. That would be quite nice. But yeah, thank you all for watching. And until the next one, take care.